Welcome to Passport Mommy. I'm your host, Michelle Jerson. This show is for anyone raising little humans. We feature experts with tips and advice to enrich the lives of our children. Mom and dad entrepreneurs tell us their inspiring stories. Learn about products that could make both you and your child's life easier and more fun. And of course, fellow parents discuss and laugh about what's happening in their child's world. Motherhood is a journey. Thanks for joining me on mine. We have a fabulous lineup today. I'm so excited to have with me back Amberlynn Vital from Garden of Life, and she's going to talk to us all about our aging parents and their immunity, maybe some supplements and mineral suggestions and things that we can get for them. And I am a huge fan of Garden of Life. I absolutely love all of their products. They are non-GMO, organic, and they are made from real foods. And that's why I am really excited that not only have we been bringing you this incredible series over these last few weeks, From Ordinary to Extraordinary, how moms impact a family's health, but we have partnered with them to offer you 25% off their entire website. That's right. All you have to do is go to checkout, go to your cart, and enter the word Passport Mommy, no spaces, in your checkout cart, and you will receive 25% off their already low prices. And again, the holidays are coming up. Maybe you don't know what to get your significant other or your parents for the holidays, and you might think, oh, I'm not going to get them supplements. It's a little silly. But you know what? The best thing you could do really is give somebody the gift of health, especially now in the wintertime, and we're all looking for ways to build up our immunity. And so we'll hear from Amber later in the show. But I personally just want to tell you that I absolutely love their Super Greens powders, their MCT oil, their protein powders. I give my kids the chewable multis as well as the elderberry gummies for immunity. I do probiotics, if I didn't already say that. I do their prenatal vitamins because I'm still nursing, and their coconut oil. And I just have a whole array of their products. And I'm not somebody that uses a lot of stuff. So I basically streamline, and the products that I use are all Garden of Life because I truly trust the ingredients and the way that they are made, and I feel confident, and I give my kids the protein bars as snacks, and they absolutely love them. So again, all you have to do is go to their website. It's gardenoflife.com. Do your shopping, set up an account, and then when you're ready to check out, just put in the promo code Passport Mommy, no spaces, in your cart, and you'll automatically receive 25% off. And that is until the end of the year. So you can go back and make as many purchases as you want. If you purchase one or two things now, and then you say, you know what, I really love their products, and I really love how I feel on them. So then you can go back and you can buy some more. And like I mentioned, I love their greens powders. I put in their Super Greens powder, plus the wheatgrass powder, plus her collagen powder now that I've gotten older, in my yogurt every single morning. I use the MCT oil I put in my green tea, and I am so full of energy. It starts off my day right. It's healthy. I know I'm getting an immense amount of nutrients right off the bat, and I can't thank them enough. I really can't. I have been a huge fan for so many years, and that is why I am honored and so thrilled to be partnering with them right now on this show, because you know that I love to bring you only the best products that I believe in and that I absolutely love, whether it's toys for the kids or supplements for our health, for our husband's health, for our partner, for our aging parents, whatever it is. So again, you can go to gardenoflife.com. Just enter the promo code Passport Mommy at checkout. So we have such a phenomenal show today. Not only do we have Amberlynn Vital coming up, later in the show we're going to talk with Steve Preston. He is the president and CEO of Goodwill Industries International, and he's going to talk to us all about everything that Goodwill is doing to help out our veterans. Veterans Day is coming up soon, and they really do amazing work. And also, right now, I'm thrilled to have with me David Morgan. He is the Multicultural Media Correspondents Association president. MMCA is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization leading a call to action to increase media diversity. In just its fourth year, MMCA has become a trusted facilitator of thought leadership, resource and information sharing, and strategic engagement between multicultural media stakeholders, tech and media decision makers, policymakers, and private entities committed to increasing the percentage of diverse media stakeholders and content. Hello, David. Thank you so much for being here today. Huge fan of Garden of Life. I'll tell you more about that later in the show, but I am so happy to have with me right now David Morgan. He is the Multicultural Media Correspondents Association president, and as somebody who works in media, in radio, and I've been in the business for 20 plus years, I could surely appreciate diversity in the media and the fact that there is recognition for this. So, David, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Absolutely. So coming up is the 5th annual Multicultural Media Correspondents' Dinner. Tell us about that.
Yes, so this is our signature annual event. We've been hosting it from 2016, and it's our way of doing one of the key anchors of our mission, which is to highlight multicultural BIPOC media excellence, as well as to bring attention to what we see as a media diversity crisis that has serious economic, social, and political implications. You know, when we get directly to the why, I think, the media has played a huge role in propelling this myth about Black inferiority, not just in the media, but across the social, economic, and political landscape. We are committed to changing that, because who owns a story controls who wins and loses. So we leverage this ceremony each year to showcase and highlight the multicultural BIPOC excellence that we have in the media world. This year, our honorees, headlined by not only, I think, sort of the biggest giant in media, but probably one of the biggest giants in corporate America, Mr. Richard Dick Parsons. We are also honoring two senators who, first, Senator Jackie Rosen, who's a Democrat from Nevada, and Senator Marco Rubio, who's a Republican from Florida. And folks would wonder, why are you honoring these senators? But they have done something actually really remarkable. They have introduced bipartisan legislation in the Senate that reaffirms Congress's commitment to media diversity and to working with organizations like MMCA, my organization, in coming up with consensus-based solutions. There's a companion bill in the House that Representative Demings from Florida is pushing. So we are just super excited about having champions on Capitol Hill. We're also, just to give you the rest of the honorees, we're honoring Maria Hinojosa, who's been a giant in the radio broadcast industry and just an amazing figure of excellence. I just love her. Lisa Ling, again, from TV broadcast, just a phenomenal broadcast journalist doing great things. Miss Nicole Hannah-Jones, who's going to be our Print Journalist Award recipient, who brought us the 1619 Project, and Mr. Detavio Samuels, because we also want to look at the business of media and folks behind the scene that's really propelling media excellence for people of color. And he's an executive over at Revolt. And so super excited about that. The show, we have amazing co-hosts that's helping us sort of raise awareness and making sure it's a lot of fun. We have Miss Kim Whitley and Miss Sherry Shepard, who are just super phenomenal. And we also have Aida Rodriguez, who was actually the featured comedian at our first inaugural dinner and celebration, and she was so amazing. So we're happy to have her back for our 5th, and just excited about this amazing event.
Terrific. I'm excited. And I love all of the nominees that you have. I think it's great how you've chosen them and how it really is just so diverse, and it highlights that. So where is the dinner being held?
So it's going to be virtual here in Washington on November 11th, but I'm happy to report that we will be rebroadcasting it at a later date for a wider public audience. Our goal was try to simulate the intimate invite-only dinner we usually have, but we are going to take advantage of what will be a phenomenal program to later broadcast it to a wider audience. So I ask folks to visit us at www.mmcadc.org. Sign up, and you'll get information soon about when it will be broadcast, as well as to follow us on social media at MMCADC for more information.
Perfect. All right. So let me ask you, why is there, do you think, a media diversity crisis to begin with? And what are some solutions you think? Because I've seen it in places that I've worked, whether it's radio, television, it's there. We can't deny it. So what is causing this?
So I think we have not paid enough attention, I think, not just in media, in a lot of industry, to some of the barriers to BIPOC, people of color, really advancing not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera.
Right, exactly. So if somebody wanted to get involved with the Multicultural Media Correspondents Association, how can they do that?
Again, please, and we encourage that, visit our website at www.mmcadc, and you'll immediately see we're very direct and intentional about what our call to actions, how you can get involved, our works, how you can be part of our events, and also how you can contribute to our thought leadership.
Thank you so much, David Morgan. I really appreciate you being here today, and I look forward to hearing about when this is broadcast for a wider audience, because I would love to tune in.
Looking forward to it, and thank you so much for the opportunity and for all that you're doing. I celebrate you as well.
Thank you so much. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Steve Preston. He is the president and CEO of Goodwill Industries International. He has appeared on ABC's Pandemic, Bloomberg TV, Cheddar, CNBC, and a bunch of other outlets to talk about all of the wonderful work that Goodwill is doing. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy. So Veterans Day is coming up just a few days away. And as Americans take time to honor those who have served on Veterans Day, I'm thrilled to say that Goodwill continues its commitment to meet their specialized employment needs. The well-known charitable organization and the leading workforce provider in the world honors their service by providing veterans and military families with employment placement, tailored job training, career and transitional services, as well as financial wellness opportunities to help them find jobs as civilians and build their careers once their military service ends. And today I have with me Steve Preston. He is the president and CEO of Goodwill Industries International. Hello, Steve. Thanks for being here today.
Wow. Thanks for getting the message out. What a great introduction.
Oh, sure. No problem. So tell me, what is the goal of Operation Good Jobs and how is the program unique? Tell me a little bit about what Goodwill is doing.
Yeah. So really what we're trying to do is when people come out of the military, help them transition successfully from deployment to employment, right? And we work with people to get comprehensive support. When people come out of the military, often, they're trying to figure out what their futures look like. It's not unusual for people to have some challenges. So if they come through our door, we sit with them, we develop with them an individual career plan. We help them understand what their family financial needs are. We'll assign them actually a career navigator that will sort of walk through this journey with them. And then we take a step back and say, how do your skills from the military connect to opportunities in your local market? Can we see that kind of connection right there? And then when you look at what you want to do eventually, do you need to get additional job skills or certifications to be able to get you on that path to your longer term goals? So sometimes it's, technical training and that type of thing. Sometimes it's just, job readiness. How do I, how can I be effective in the workplace? And sometimes people need more help. We'll work with them to get housing if they need it, childcare support. It's not that hard, for people coming home to find themselves in a very difficult situation pretty quickly. And we want to make sure that we work with them to wrap them with all the kinds of support they need, because that's really important for people to get through the process of getting the training they need and to go through everything. If people don't have those basic supports, they can't focus on skills. The other thing I'd mention about this particular program is there's a strong focus on women veterans. And that's because many of the women veterans have had higher unemployment levels and lower pay when they actually go into employment. So we wanted to make an added effort to support our women vets.
I love that. And so whether you are a woman, a mom who is a vet, or your husband is a vet, or somebody in your family is a vet, it's really nice to know that these programs are out there. And especially moms who are veterans who are trying to balance motherhood and also getting back out into the workforce. What are some steps that they can take to take advantage of this program?
Well, first of all, you can always go to goodwill.org or call 1-800-GOODWILL. Tell people where you're located, and then contact the local Goodwill. And you can find out if Operation Good Jobs is available locally, or if there are other veterans programs or just other workforce programs. So there are a lot of ways to connect with those skills locally, and it may be through this program or any number of other Goodwill programs in place.
Great. So is this program in particular available nationwide?
This program is available in a number of local markets. Right now, it's available in Greenville, down in North Carolina, and a number of other large local markets. So it is sort of regionally focused. Hopefully it'll expand over time. But once again, any number of our locations will have targeted programs for veterans, as well as targeted workforce programs. So we want to make sure that people don't think it has to be a veterans program for them to get the kind of support. We actually work with 75,000 veterans a year through all of our programs. So you should definitely reach out. The other thing about Goodwill.org is if you go into Goodwill.org, you can connect with job placement sites directly. There's a little button that says Find a Job on that website. You can get online training for digital skills and any number of other things. So there are a lot of different ways to get that support.
Terrific. And so if somebody's listening right now who is an employer and they say, I want to hire a veteran because they know that veterans come with a very unique skill set and they're usually very diligent, very good hard workers, and they want to pay it back, what should they do?
They should do the same thing. They should find that local Goodwill on Goodwill.org or 1-800-GOODWILL. If you go into this website, you can just type in your zip code and call the office. And we have locally, we have any number of employer relationships. In some cases, people just want to talk to, our veterans or other people to source, what may be their next great hire. And in other cases, we actually partner with employers to design specific programs to support their needs. Those local employer relationships are critical for us. So any employer who says, I'm looking for veterans or other people to fill roles, they should absolutely come to Goodwill because we'll work with them not only to get the right people, but to ensure that those people have the right kind of training.
Terrific. I love that. And you have been all over. I mean, you've appeared on ABC's Pandemic, Bloomberg TV, Cheddar. And so you are all over the place. If somebody wants to, say, watch some of your previous interviews where you talk about this and other things that Goodwill has done, is there a place that they can go? Is there a YouTube series?
On our Goodwill.org website, there is also a media link, and you should be able to find some of those clips on there.
I also wanted to add that we do have a radio station in Winston-Salem where you may be listening. And so there is a Goodwill right there in Winston-Salem that offers Operation Good Jobs. For more information, people can contact Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina, Veteran Services at goodwillnwnc.org. And for more information on the summit, goodwill.org/Operation Good Jobs. Amberlynn Vital from Garden of Life is coming up next. Thrilled to be continuing our series From Ordinary to Extraordinary, How Moms Impact a Family's Health. And today I have with me once again, Amberlynn Vital. She's an educator with Garden of Life, and she is just full of knowledge. Amberlynn, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Michelle. This has been so fun.
Great. Same here. I've learned so much. I've enjoyed talking with you about everything. We've talked about our kids' health, our husband's health, our health. So what about our parents' health? Because I feel like as a mom, we are also taking care of our aging parents. And I know that I introduced my parents to Garden of Life, to the wheatgrass, to the super greens, to the protein powder. And I got my mom on making smoothies out of all of it. And I'm just so thrilled. And now she asks me, she says, hey, do you have any more of that Garden of Life stuff? Can you bring it over?
That's great. You're really a good influencer with your family. You've got your toddler eating wheatgrass and yogurt and your parents. I mean, it's amazing. I'm quite impressed. So,
thanks.
And that's a good point. Not every friend or family member that we want to help is going to take to it.
Right.
There's so many reasons why they may think that something makes. I remember my grandmother, I gave her a bottle of herbal stuff that she can make a tea of because she had all this arthritis.
Right.
She's like, I said, how's that going? She's like, oh, it makes me go to the bathroom. And
right.
Well, I'm not used to going to the bathroom that much. I'm like, and digestive tract is the source of all inflammation. So right. Maybe that's a good thing. And so we're fighting. With our aging parents, we are fighting against a paradigm, a generational construct.
Yes.
Really, if from marketing perspective, because Garden of Life does a lot of market research, and so I get to hear the results of that. So it's always interesting to me that demographic, they listen to the doctor.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So the millennials, they listen to celebrities. So, it's like, who's telling you what to do and what is your trust in them? So I can do nothing with my dad, my mom, my mom's better. Dad, my stepmom. If the doctor said this, I cannot come in. It doesn't matter how many years of experience I have. Forget about it. So I have to find sneaky little ways. Did the doctor say that he needs to be on a probiotic? We have a probiotic. Did the doctor say he needs a digestive? We have one from the pharmacy. Okay. Right. All right. So, we do what we can, but it's great. Smoothies are awesome. And it really depends on what we're talking about as far as age, how self-reliant our parents are, exactly how autonomous they are still, whether we're still doing things for them. And Easy does it. I look at our elderly as our children. We don't jump in with high doses. We don't jump in with too many changes at once. Right. Just take a quarter teaspoon, grandma, and put it in your applesauce, put it in this yogurt. Let's just try a little bit at a time. Because if they do feel bad, coincidental or not, they're gonna say, "Oh, not gonna do it again." Right? Exactly. I was in the bathroom for 3 hours. Whatever. Which could be true. So even with our probiotics, which are awesome for everyone, and especially the elderly, as we age, we lose our bifidobacteria, which predominate the predominant species in the colon. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Between Lactobacillus species and Bifidobacterium species, we have more Bifidobacterium in the large intestine. So the lower part of our bowel. And when we age, we start to lose them. And that is a huge contributor to aging constipation. And also what we jokingly call constaria. Like you never know what it's going to be, right? But one way one day, one the other way the other day. So this inconsistency, and unfortunately, and not across the board of the medical establishment, but I've definitely heard enough people say, well, the doctor said every 3 days to go to the bathroom is fine. Look at kids, look at animals. They go when they eat. Right. So again, common sense prevails. It's not really hard to look around you and observe the rest of nature, of which we are a part, and notice that we're not doing the same thing. Right. So you gotta have your bowels moving when you want them to move. Right. Dr. Perlmutter tells this hilarious joke. He says, I was a doctor, and this patient came in and he said, well, how are you doing today? He's like, well, I'm pretty good, but I'm having some problems. What's your problem? Well, every day, like clockwork, at 8 a.m., I have a really good bowel movement. Okay, well, that sounds great. So I don't really understand what's the problem. Well, doctor, I don't get up until 9. So that's one of my favorites from Dr. Perlmutter. That's great. It needs to be when you want it to be. So with probiotics too, which are relatively safe and harmless, which don't interfere with any medications. That's why I love them for our elderly, because they are on more medications. You still want to start low. Don't jump in with 90 billion, 100 billion, 200 billion CFU. Start with 10, 20, 30. Start with a powder, start with a quarter teaspoon. Take it easy and gradually increase. I recommend our kids' chewable probiotics a lot, especially for somebody who's aging and not so autonomous. In other words, if you're giving them a powder and you're like, you take this much and you mix it in this, and they're just going, no, I'm not going to do it. Right. A chewable tablet that's low count. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great idea. And the chewable tablets taste great. They're easy to take. And yeah, that's really smart. And you mentioned not jumping into the high count probiotic right away. I had an experience where I thought, okay, I need extra. I need to really get my gut and my whole insides in check today. And I went, and I've always taken, I think it's 50,000, whatever 50 billion. 50 billion. Sorry. Yep. And then I jumped to the 100. Was it 100 billion? And I had a little bit of an upset stomach, and I think it was from that. I'm not 100% sure, but I said maybe it was too much for me. So it's just like if you fly from New York to Hong Kong, and the first meal you have in Hong Kong, you decide to get street food because it's famous. Right. Food. Yeah. And there are organisms in there that don't harm people from Hong Kong, but to you, they're new.
Right.
And so you feel a little, you're not just sure, I got something bad, or you even just drinking the water. Water is safe in many places around the world, but when it's different to you, you may have an adaptation experience. That's what I call it.
Right. That's a nice way of putting it.
So the slower, the better.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So
even adding fiber, like we all need fiber, but if you go in and say, well, more is better, which is the American way, and you put in tablespoons, you're going to suffer a little.
Right. So what is the best way if you want to jump up to that next level of probiotic? How should you ease into that?
Well, I don't think you necessarily did anything wrong. It's just knowing that doesn't make it bad, but it makes it an adjustment.
Right.
But if you had more delicate health, if you were younger, a child or elderly or ill, you wouldn't, you just want to take it a little bit more easy. I always caution that. It's not something we can easily put on the bottle. There's just too much language around it, but I think it's just common sense that we don't want to take someone who doesn't have a lot of physical resources, for all of their cellular functioning. We don't want to surprise them, like you wouldn't jump out from the closet and surprise your grandmother. You don't want to surprise her with a sudden high CFU count of probiotic, you take it easy. So none of we have very few products that even need to stay in the capsule or the tablet. So all our probiotics that are in capsules, those can be opened. The capsule is just a convenience. It's not a part of the product. So those can be opened. You can pour half of it out and put it back together. It's kind of crazy, but you can do that. Yeah. You can buy the powders to start with. We have the FitBiotic stick packs. We have the 5-Day Max Care, which is a powder. We have the Kids Probiotics, which is a powder, which I also recommend for especially more frail elderly people. And those can be taken in less than the recommended amount, and if you're starting out and it says if it says take 1 teaspoon, take a 1/4 teaspoon. I do that with magnesium too. I don't take a full teaspoon.
Right. Yeah. Cause that also has properties, right?
When did you ever eat, 350, 400 milligrams of magnesium in one sitting? You just don't eat that way. So take it easy, slowly. Don't combine too many things at once.
Right. Good advice. And I'm glad you mentioned that the Kids Probiotic comes in a powder too, because just a real quick side note, when my daughter was, I think, under 2 years old and she had to be on antibiotics, I bought the powder and I just mixed it in with her water in her sippy cup. And that worked great.
Absolutely. And this is just it. You and I both do not want our kids to go on an antibiotic.
Right.
But they get that first strep infection.
Yeah.
You get the rapid test and it's positive and you're there in the doctor's office. You're already in the system and you're like,
yeah, exactly.
Because they're saying, well, if you don't, they could get, what is it? Rheumatic fever? Isn't that the one? Or scarlet? Which one is it?
I don't know. I haven't heard that yet. Sorry.
Yeah. if the bacteria goes to there's all this guilt tripping and your child's in pain.
Right.
Okay, a lot of times it really hurts and they can't go back to school or preschool and you have to stay home. So there's so many factors. This is where we guilt ourselves a lot as moms. And the same can happen also as you're elderly. It's more likely you're going to have more antibiotics because that's the way we were talking about UTIs last week in our beauty care. And this can happen to the elderly as well, men and women, both. Men have a lot of latent, unidentified urinary tract infections that become prostatic infections. So it wipes clean that microbiome. It desertifies the microbiome. And you have to restore it for overall health. So luckily, a lot of physicians and nurses are now very aware that you need a probiotic after an antibiotic, and you need more than just Lactobacillus acidophilus. So there are a lot of other, we don't eat one bacterium. We eat hundreds of thousands of different bacteria in our all the time, and they're in us. So diversity, we always have a multitude of strains, and this is like the best thing for our aging parents is to get them on a probiotic. We have special ones. We have Prostate Plus. So if there's prostate issues, you have probiotic support and urinary system support, reproductive system support. We have the Urinary Tract Plus. We have colon care, which we were going to call senior care because it helps restore those bifidobacterium, you know.
Right.
So there's a lot out there that you can see are geared towards specific conditions, but a general once daily that's in the 30 billion CFU count is a good place to start.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I first started shopping all of the Garden of Life probiotics for myself and my now husband. We were dating at the time, and I thought, okay, so there's for women, there's the vaginal one, there's a urinary tract one, and then for the guys.
Daily.
Yep. And then I remember looking at the ones for my husband and thinking, okay, so there's one here with ashwagandha in it. I think he could really use that. But then there's this prostate one.
Yep.
So
people can alternate too. So,
okay.
You know, you don't have to take both on the same day. You can definitely, if you've got a couple things going on, you can keep them both in the cupboard and you know, swap back and forth because there's different strain combinations, and that's good. That's how we eat. One day we eat some sauerkraut, one day we eat a hamburger, you know, so some days we have a hot dog with sauerkraut. So, you know, you mix stuff up, and the diversity and the variety is important.
Yeah, that's a great idea to go back and forth. The same thing like we do with our shampoo, right? They say not to use the same one every day. You have to alternate. Well, Amberlynn Vital, thank you so much. Where can we go? What is Garden of Life's website?
gardenoflife.com. Very simple. Go there, check out recipes, check out our products. You can look at different product categories, and there's a lot of information on the site. Just spend some time there.
Yeah, terrific. And I want to talk a little bit more about aging parents in the next segment, because I think you're right. Probiotic definitely key. And I'd love to talk about maybe what greens could be good for them and what they can add to their smoothies coming up, because that could also be a really easy way for them to get the nutrition that they need. Before we move on to the next segment, I just want you to know that I want nothing more than for us all to be happy and healthy this holiday season. And that's why we're having these wonderful conversations with Amber. She's here to empower us with healthy holiday hacks so that we can enjoy all the goodness of the holiday season while also being good to our health. And so I want you to experience what I experienced using Garden of Life. And that's why we are partnering to offer you, the Passport Mommy listener, 25% off your entire purchase on the website. All you have to do is go to gardenoflife.com, set up an account, and when you're ready to check out, put in the promo code Passport Mommy. All one word, no spaces, Passport Mommy, and you will automatically get 25% off their already low website prices. Again, that is gardenoflife.com, promo code Passport Mommy. We're here with Amberlynn Vital. She is an educator with Garden of Life, full of information. And Amberlynn, we were talking just about aging parents and how we can help them lead a healthier life and to maybe, you know, live longer. Of course, we want them here for selfish reasons, and they want to be here for their grandchildren.
Absolutely. And, you know, we want to be more cautious with the elderly because their systems are a little bit more fragile. They may have more health issues, or who knows, because of their upbringing, they may be healthier than us. You know, I saw that with my grandparents versus my parents. You know, it varies, but we do need to look at them and the issues that they tend to have. By and large, they tend to be on more medications. By and large, they tend to have more difficulty digesting foods and therefore lower protein and fatty acid status. If they are living alone, so if one has died or passed on and the other one is living alone, they may do like my grandmother did and just resort to peanut butter and crackers because, hey, I cooked for years and I'm sick and tired of it. Watch my Dancing with the Stars and eat my peanut butter and crackers, you know, there went her gallbladder. So we have to look at all of these things. So areas that we can really help them. We talked about probiotics. We can talk about fats that are easy to digest and fats they don't normally get. Greens powders, because they may not be eating vegetables the way that their generation grew up eating them. And it may just, they went through the 50s. So they're probably doing the canned food, the frozen food, TV dinners. That was all okay in that period. It was acceptable. And protein powders. We have some really nice, you know, less dense protein powders like our organic plant protein, which are really great for older people who don't have the digestive system to digest a lot of protein at once.
Right.
You know, they can choose their flavor. It's very easy. They don't even need a blender. You know, they can just shake it up. It's outside of their comfort zone, you know, so it takes a little convincing. You give them a shaker cup, you tell them how much, and then, you know, they can mix it up because that's a very easily digestible way to get protein, and we can get them to start adding a scoop of those greens and really get them hooked on that. And, if they're like my dad, he'd be like, well, I drank my greens, so I don't need my vegetables.
Right. Yeah. Sounds like my husband.
At least we knew we got certified organic, non-GMO project verified greens that were juiced and then powdered into them, which is probably better than, bird's eye frozen peas. So
Exactly. And I know you even have a protein powder mixed with the greens, a raw greens protein powder.
We have the protein and greens, which is great. I did give that to my dad. Mm-hmm. It's very expired and he still thinks he's going to use it. So that's another thing. Go in and clean out their supplement cabinet for them because, you don't want to leave that too long. So that gives you about a half of it gives you, I think it's like 3 servings of vegetables, but it's about half as much as we have in our greens powders.
Got it.
Along with a full 20 grams of protein from brown rice and sprouted beans and other seed proteins. So it's a really nice, very tasty combination. All in one is great. When they don't have to mix too many things together, keep it simple.
Yes, exactly.
And I would love it if you can convince your parents to do a protein mix like that and then squeeze a little bit of MCT oil into it, because protein powders on the shelves and green powders do not have much fat in them because fat oxidizes on the shelf. It's very hard to have it powdered.
Right.
And so we want to make sure when we're having a shake that we're getting everything, a little carbs, a little protein, a little fat.
Right.
So our MCT oil is great because again, they don't have to really digest it. It gradually goes in the system, but I would not have them do more than a teaspoon of that. And so your scoop of protein or 2 scoops, if that's the recommendation, a squeeze of, teaspoon of that oil. And the shaker cup, you just shake it right up. Water, almond milk, whatever they want to put it in. And they can just walk around and drink it.
Perfect. Amber, thank you so much for all of the wonderful tips. I really appreciate you being here every week. I have learned so much. And all I want for our listeners this holiday season is for everybody to be happy and healthy. And that's why we've had you here for these conversations week after week. You're here to empower us with healthy holiday hacks so we can all enjoy the goodness of the holiday season while also being good to our health. And that's why I am so thrilled that I am partnering with you and Garden of Life, the health and wellness company that I absolutely love. I love the products because they are organic, they are non-GMO, and they are made from real foods. And right now, as a listener to Passport Mommy, you can receive 25% off the entire Garden of Life website. All you have to do is go to gardenoflife.com, start an account, and when you're ready to check out, enter the promo code Passport Mommy, no spaces, in the shopping cart, and you will receive 25% off all of your purchases between now and the end of the year. And again, if you are looking for organic, non-GMO supplements, vitamins, and minerals, it's gardenoflife.com. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next week.